Explaining the socio-economic disparities between North and South India is a complex and multifaceted issue, shaped by a range of historical, political, economic, and cultural factors. In this response, I will attempt to provide a comprehensive overview of some of the key factors that have contributed to the economic disparity between North and South India, with a focus on the period since India's independence in 1947. Historical context. One of the major factors contributing to the economic disparity between North and South India is the legacy of colonialism. During the British colonial era, the north of India was the center of British power and administration, and the region was heavily industrialized and urbanized, with a well-developed transport infrastructure. In contrast, South India was relatively neglected by the colonial authorities, and the region remained largely rural and agrarian. This legacy has had a lasting impact on the economic development of both regions, with the north continuing to dominate in industry and urbanization, while the south remains more reliant on agriculture. Another factor that has contributed to the economic disparity between North and South India is the linguistic and cultural differences between the two regions. The north is predominantly Hindi-speaking and has a largely Hindu population, while the south is linguistically and culturally diverse, with 4 major Dravidian languages spoken across the region, and a significant Muslim population in some areas. These cultural and linguistic differences have contributed to a sense of regional identity in both regions, with the north often viewed as more Indian, and the south as more Dravidian. Economic development. Since independence, both North and South India have undergone significant economic development, with the North leading in the industrial sector and the South in the service sector. However, the economic development of the two regions has been uneven, with the North remaining more reliant on industry and the South shifting towards a more service-oriented economy. This has contributed to a widening gap in income levels between the two regions, with the South now having a higher per capita income than the North. One of the factors that have contributed to the North's relative economic stagnation is the region's dependence on heavy industry, particularly in the form of state-owned enterprises. These enterprises were established in the early years of independence as part of a strategy to promote industrialization and self-sufficiency, but they have been plagued by inefficiency, corruption, and bureaucratic red tape. The North also faces challenges in infrastructure development, particularly in the transport sector, which has limited the region's ability to attract investment and promote economic growth. In contrast, the South has benefited from a more diversified economy, with a greater focus on services, particularly information technology and business process outsourcing. The region has also been successful in attracting foreign investment, particularly from the United States and Europe, which has helped to fuel economic growth. Additionally, the South has invested heavily in infrastructure development, particularly in the transport sector, which has facilitated the movement of goods and people across the region. Social factors. Social factors also play a role in the economic disparities between North and South India. One of the key social factors is education, with the South having a higher literacy rate than the North. This has helped to create a more educated and skilled workforce in the South, which has contributed to the region's success in the service sector. In contrast, the North faces significant challenges in education, particularly in rural areas, where access to schools and quality education is limited. Another social factor that has contributed to the economic disparity between North and South India is the caste system. The caste system is a complex social hierarchy that has its roots in ancient Hindu society and has persisted in various forms to the present day. While the caste system is officially illegal in India, it continues to shape social and economic relationships, particularly in rural areas. The North has a higher proportion of Dal. Was this response better or worse? Better, worse, same.